Been snowy and cold all day today, but I found a few wolf tracks. So I'm getting some of my traps boiled. At least that's the thought. It's not boiling yet. But the weather, it kind of turned nasty and cold. There's snow up high on the ridge. That's where the tracks were. Well, today is October 24th. We got some snow on the mountains around the valley here. Deer season ends today, end of today. So I'm going up the road now to look for a deer and to set some wolf traps. Well, I managed to get 6 sets in, 6 traps in. Probably should put out a few more, but I think I'll give these a couple of days and see what things look like. There's a storm kind of rolling in, and before I get too carried away here, I might have to pull them back out. It's hard to say. I don't think so. It's done this before. Usually this early in the year, it'll melt again, hopefully. Maybe. But the road gets awful icy coming into here. So, kind of wait and see, I guess. This early slow like this is pretty slick. As the winter goes on, it gets colder, it gets a little drier, and you got a little traction. But this early stuff, a little bit slippery. Last day of deer season too, so it's not looking too likely like I'm gonna get a deer. There's still a chance. I'm watching for one, but I have a feeling that Cindy is going to feed us for the winter again, and not me. Hems the brakes. Got the trap talking with another trapper here, and while we were talking, it snowed quite a little bit, and probably a half an inch on the truck, but there's no tracks here now as far as pickup goes, and he just come up over this. I bet it snowed on the ground where it's not melting off on like it was on my toolbox. I bet it snowed an inch or so, maybe a little more. Not sure what this storm's supposed to do. I didn't know it was even supposed to snow today. Makes it pretty though. So, I think this snow might have finally killed the moose. The moose fire. I don't see any smoke. Before there was smoke back here. I'm not seeing it now, so hopefully the moose is dead. Boy, it sure did a lot of damage though. Kind of amazing, really. Oops, a little bit of washboard. Kind of amazing though how many rock outcroppings and things were hidden by those trees, and it's kind of neat, but man, I'd rather have the trees. Yeah, it still makes me sick that those Boogerville cabins are gone, but there's still a lot of these old cabins like this around here. This one's not in very good shape. It's not in any kind of shape, but it's kind of neat seeing these. You always kind of wonder, you know, who built them and why. This one's right on the edge of the road. Was the road there at the time, or did they put the road in later? You know, it's pretty neat, and I'm glad there's still some around. I love exploring these things and poking around through them. I think if you had a metal detector, all you'd probably find is nails, but you never know. You might find something cool. One of these days, maybe this summer, I'll poke around a little bit more and do some of that. But I don't know. It's sure a shame to have lost those, and I know of about 6 cabins. Well, one of them was an old house, but I know of 6 of them that burned up in this forest fire. Sure a shame. Here's another neat old cabin that's not very far from the road. I wish these places could talk. I mean, there's so much history here that we'll never know. I mean, I doubt anybody around knows who built this or why or what they were doing back here. It's pretty cool to run into these places like this. Here's another old cabin that's right by the road. I've heard this called Scarecrow Cabin. There's a cut-off road, drops down to another road. And this is the Scarecrow Cabin cut-off. I've also heard it called Sketchy's Cabin, because I guess the guy that lived in this was kind of a sketchy character. So the fire missed all of this, and just a small little bit of it come through here. It doesn't look like even a big patch. I wonder if this wasn't done on purpose, because it took out another one of my favorite cabins here. This is that one that was a cabin inside of a cabin. There isn't anything left of it at all. Stovepipe, that's it. Ah, man, it makes me sick. The Forest Service likes to get rid of these old cabins like this for whatever reason, and I'm kind of wondering if this wasn't done on purpose. Here's another one that we lost last year. It made it through the snow. I kind of thought that maybe it'd stand a little bit longer, but the posts were really badly rotted off, and the big windstorm last summer toppled it over. This one, I was told that it was an old dairy. It was a barn of some sort. I don't know if it was a dairy or not, but it was kind of neat. It's this old roofing tin. It used to be water pipe. The riveted water flumes. And what they did is they cut it into sections and unrolled it. It's pretty neat. It's been leaning for years. I really kind of expected it to fall sooner than what it did, but still hate to see it go. At least it didn't burn up. There's still something of it. I'll try to throw a picture of it in, excuse me, try to throw a picture of it in here of what it looked like before it fell. Just kind of a mess now. It's still kind of a historical deal. I hope it stays here a long time. Well, deer season's over again for another year. Cindy got a little spike. I got skunked once again. But I gotta tell you this story. I was walking through the woods and I looked over and I saw a couple of city guys dragging a deer out, and each one of them had a hind leg, and they were dragging it out of the woods. And I was curious. I went over there, and it was a dandy deer, a great big old wide thing, and I talked to him for a minute and said, "Boy, that's a nice deer." And I told him, though, if you're kind of doing it wrong. If you grab them by the antlers and pull, the hair will lay flat. It won't be rubbing against the hair, and it'll pull a whole lot easier and be a lot easier to drag. So they thanked me, and off I went on up through the woods. Well, about an hour or so later, one of them city guys looks at the other one and says, "That hillbilly was sure smart. This is a lot easier to drag this way, but aren't we getting kind of far from the truck?" Crazy dogs.